The man known as Vlad the Impaler, Vlad III, or Vlad Dracula, was born in the late 1420s or early 1430s, with some sources suggesting November or December of 1431, in the citadel of Sigizawara, located in the Principality of Wallachia, which is situated in what is now modern-day Romania. However, the exact date and location of his birth are shrouded in uncertainty due to the lack of substantial historical records from that time and place. It is also possible that he was born in the late 1420s, as the exact year remains a matter of debate among historians. Vlad's father was Prince Vlad II, also known as Vlad Dracula, the ruler of Wallachia. Prince Vlad II was the illegitimate son of Prince Mircea the Old, who was the ruler of Wallachia from 1386 to 1418. The identity of Vlad the Impaler's mother is not definitively known, but many historians believe she was Vlad II's first wife, Kanagia of Moldavia, also known as Princess Kanagia of Hungary, Neaja was the eldest daughter of Prince Alexander I of Moldavia, also known as Alexander the Good. Alternatively, some sources suggest that Vlad the Impaler could have been the son of one of Vlad II's mistresses, but there is no concrete evidence to support this claim. Regardless of the identity of his biological mother, Vlad was regarded as a legitimate son of Vlad II. Vlad II had several children, including 3 legitimate sons: Mircea II, Vlad III the Impaler, and Radu the Handsome. He also had at least one illegitimate son, Vlad the Monk. All of Vlad II's sons received the surname Dracula, meaning son of the dragon. After Vlad II was inducted into the Order of the Dragon, a chivalric order founded by Emperor Sigismund of Hungary in 1408. This order was established to protect Christian Europe from its enemies, particularly the Ottoman Turks. Vlad the Impaler's early life and career were significantly influenced by his father's experiences and political alliances. Vlad II's early years were not well documented, but it is believed that he was held as a hostage at the Hungarian court, a common practice during that time to secure the loyalty of vassals. This hostage arrangement allowed Vlad II to gain access to the royal courts of Hungary and the Holy Roman Empire, where he received an education befitting a nobleman. During the 15th century, hostages, or pledges, were a regular feature of political life in Europe. These hostages were used to ensure the loyalty of vassals by keeping a family member, often a son, at the court of their lord. It was a way to maintain alliances and build relationships between noble families. For Vlad the Impaler's grandfather Mircea I, this arrangement allowed him to gain access to the royal courts of Hungary and the Holy Roman Empire, and it also secured a more promising future for his illegitimate son, Vlad II. For Emperor Sigismund, having Vlad II as a hostage ensured the loyalty of Wallachia, a principality on the eastern borders of the Kingdom of Hungary. During his time at the Hungarian court, Vlad II was educated in the customs and manners of a nobleman, and likely converted from Eastern Orthodoxy to Roman Catholicism, the predominant faith in the Holy Roman Empire. After the death of Mircea, first in 1418, Vlad II was no longer required to remain at the court of Emperor Sigismund. However, he chose to stay on as the emperor's page, which allowed him to further his chivalric and aristocratic education. Vlad II's half-brother, Michael I, succeeded their father as the ruler of Wallachia, but Michael's reign was short-lived as he died in 1420. Following Michael's death, Vlad II turned his attention to acquiring the throne of Wallachia for himself. He competed with his surviving family members and the other illegitimate children of Mircea's father Michael for the title. This period was marked by political intrigue and power struggles within Wallachia and the wider Balkans region. To understand Vlad the Impaler's life and the political landscape in which he operated, it is essential to examine the broader context of southeastern Europe during this time. For centuries, the Balkans had been dominated by the Byzantine Empire, the successor state to the Eastern Roman Empire in the Eastern Mediterranean. However, by the late 14th and early 15th centuries, the Byzantine Empire was in decline, controlling little more than the city of Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, which guarded the gateway between Europe and Asia. The Ottoman Turks, a Muslim power that had emerged from the region of modern-day Turkey, were rapidly expanding their influence in the Balkans. They had conquered much of Anatolia, Bulgaria, and Macedonia, and their sights were set on Constantinople. To the northwest of the Byzantine Empire lay the Christian Kingdom of Hungary, ruled by Emperor Sigismund, at whose court Vlad V had been a hostage. Between the Kingdom of Hungary and the Ottoman Empire were several small states, including the Kingdom of Serbia, the Kingdom of Bosnia, the Principality of Wallachia, and the Principality of Transylvania. These states were caught in the middle of the power struggle between the Ottomans and the Christian kingdoms of Europe. Wallachia and Transylvania in particular played a crucial role in the geopolitical conflict, and they would become the primary focus of Vlad the Impaler's life and reign. During this period, two significant processes were unfolding in the Balkans. Firstly, the Ottomans were determined to capture Constantinople and bring an end to the Byzantine Empire. Secondly, the Ottoman sultans aimed to expand further northwest into Christian Europe, and the buffer states on Hungary's eastern and southern borders, such as Wallachia, became key battlegrounds in this conflict. The Battle of Kosovo in June 1389 was a pivotal moment in this struggle. The Ottomans clashed with the Serbs, Bosnians, and other Christian powers in a bloody but indecisive battle. The Serbs, weakened by the battle, became vassals of the Ottomans, further solidifying Ottoman influence in the region. At the time of Vlad III's birth, Wallachia was still largely a client principality of the Kingdom of Hungary, but this relationship was increasingly challenged by the Ottomans. The boyars, or nobles, of Wallachia were divided in their loyalties, with some favoring an alliance with the Ottomans and others remaining loyal to Hungary. Vlad the Impaler and his father, Vlad II, were deeply involved in these political and military affairs. Wallachia was a diverse principality, both culturally and religiously. Its population included Transylvanians, Slavs, Germans, Greeks, Hungarians, Roma, Jews, and Turks, and its people followed various religions, including Eastern Orthodoxy, Catholicism, Protestantism, Judaism, Islam, and pagan beliefs. As an illegitimate son of Mircea I, Vlad II, was not directly in line for the throne of Wallachia after his half-brother's death in 1420. However, he would eventually rule Wallachia twice, from 1436 to 1442, and again from 1443 until his death in 1447. At the time of Vlad the Impaler's birth, these events were still in the future, and Vlad II was assigned by the Hungarian nobles to serve at Sighiswara to defend the region against possible Ottoman incursions. Vlad II's task was to protect the mountain passes from Transylvania into Wallachia from enemy raids, particularly from the Ottoman Empire, a powerful Islamic realm. If Wallachia fell to the Ottomans, it could potentially open the rest of Europe to a massive assault by Islamic forces, weakening the Christian states. When Vlad II came to power in 1436, he found himself in a precarious position. Wallachia was torn between the growing strength of the Islamic Ottomans and the divisive factions of the Catholic European court. Vlad Dracula, as he was known, was expected to side with his fellow Christians against the Turks, who had already conquered much of the Orthodox lands of the Byzantine Empire. In 1437, Emperor Sigismund died, and his successor as Holy Roman Emperor and King of Hungary, Albert II, also passed away on October 27, 1439. The Hungarian nobles then elected Ladislav III of Poland as the new King of Hungary. The following year, Ladislav chose a Hungarian boyar and military commander, John Hunyadi, also known as Janko of Hunadora. John Hunyadi sought to continue Hungarian influence in Wallachia and demanded that Vlad II participate in his efforts to resist the Ottoman advance to the northwest. In March 1442, Vlad II, John Hunyadi, and their allies successfully pushed back the Turks. pacifying the eastern counties and reinstating the protection of Hungary's southern border. However, this victory came at a cost for Vlad II. The Ottomans accused him of treason for helping the Hungarians and demanded reprisals. Shortly after their shared victory over the Turks, Vlad Dracula brought his sons, Vlad and Radul, to the court of Sultan Murad II. All of them were immediately imprisoned by the Ottomans and held as hostages until a new alliance could be arranged between Vlad II and the Turks. The Sultan demanded payment and a show of loyalty from Vlad Dracula to redeem himself in the eyes of the Ottomans. Vlad Dracula returned to avenge his son, but was captured and executed shortly after, most likely either by beheading or being burned at the stake. It is believed that Vlad Dracula was betrayed by his cousin, Vladislav II, who then succeeded him as the voivode of Wallachia in 1447. Vlad III and Radu continued their studies at the Ottoman court in Edirne, the capital of the Ottoman Empire, located in what is today Western Turkey. Vlad threw himself into the fighting arts, his hatred for the Turks seemingly driving his training. He focused on his ultimate goal, to become the ruler of Wallachia and annihilate the Ottomans. However, before he could acquire his revenge, Vlad needed an army to prevent the Hungarians from taking over Wallachia following Vlad II's death. Ironically, the Turks provided Vlad II of Dracula with the army he needed to begin acquiring power back in Wallachia. The Sultan likely believed he was arming a vassal prince, but the Turks would soon learn that this was not the case. Armed with this Ottoman support, Vlad was able to seize power in Wallachia in 1448, when he was perhaps no more than 17 years of age, certainly no older than 21. He successfully deposed his cousin, Vladislav II, who was battling the Ottomans to the south. Meanwhile, the Turks continued their offensive, and the Ottoman Empire finally conquered Serbia, which bordered Wallachia. Anticipating further actions of the Turks, Vlad agreed to participate in an anti-Ottoman crusade led by King Matthias Corvinus of Hungary. It was during this period, on June 17, 1462, that the famous battle that went down in history as the Night Attack took place. Vlad Tepes, with an army of only 7,000 men, forced the 1,200-strong Ottoman army led by Sultan Mehmed II to retreat, defeating 15,000 Turks. In the war with the Turkish army, Vlad Tepes used scorched earth tactics to strike fear into the Turkish soldiers. He ordered all captured Turks to be executed by staking. This was a traditional execution in the Ottoman Empire, but in the execution of Tepes, it became a kind of message to enemies. In the summer of 1462, the Turkish army led by Mehmed II invaded Valdum Verity. In November 1476, Vlad Tepes's forces captured Targo Vista and Bucharest. However, shortly thereafter, left without significant military support, Vlad was killed. The exact circumstances of his death are unknown. According to one version, he fell in battle. According to another, he was killed by a traitor from his entourage. The death of Vlad Tepes served as the basis for many legends. It is believed that he held feasts near his dying enemies, inhaling the smell of decomposing bodies. Although stories of his vampirism are fiction, the historical Vlad Tepes was indeed a ruthless ruler who eradicated crime in Wallachia at the cost of thousands of executions. Vlad Tepes's tomb was found empty, giving rise to legends of his resurrection. However, the remains found nearby without a skull are considered to be his remains. To prevent tourist invasion, Vlad's body was reburied on a protected island. Despite his reputation as a cruel sadist, Vlad Tepes went down in history as the defender of Wallachia against the Turkish invasion, stopping the payment of tribute to the Ottoman Empire and establishing a peasant militia. However, the world remembers him more for his atrocities than for his merits as a statesman.